The mind, the origin of the mind. The body gives birth to the heart gives rise to the mind, and finally, the mind gives rise to the supermind and the supermind. The supermind is the highest level of development in knowledge and understanding in man. When one enjoys this level of development, he is truly a small cosmos in which the same functions, the same substance, character, and character's energy as those of the cosmos animate. The mind knows and understands all that belong to the natural world via the 5 sense organs. The super sense organs provide the supernatural facts and data that contribute to developing the supermind. And at last, the sacred sense, or the main function, develops the supermind. Among all visible living beings on the earth, man surpasses all thanks to his mind and his even more advanced supermind and supermind. The mind exists in the brain with a much higher proportion to the total size of the head than that of other living beings. Even to those animals with big brain, man's intelligence still surpasses theirs and dominates over them. So, what particular substance in man's mind that can excel his intelligence to become transcendent and marvelous? It is the light, the life, the original substance, or the first constituent element of the cosmos. That transcendence is the brilliance, clairvoyance of the light in man's mind. The light is the life as well. It is the origin that engenders all creatures and all that exists. It covers and penetrates into everything and anything forever. None can escape its presence. At the beginning, man's intelligence gets the light, the life, but in a very small proportion and at a low strength. This light is overwhelmed by all other things and matters until man practices perseveringly and constantly to increase his light, life, and turns himself into a small cosmos which has the same substance, character, and character's energy as those of the great cosmos. At that moment, the light of the mind covers and penetrates into all creatures. Being of the same substance as the cosmos, the brain is able to contain the ever-existing, everlasting light, life of the great cosmos. Thus, from beginning, there has been the mind, and it persists forever. The mind has no fixed limit in the cosmos. Yang and yin of the light in the cosmic animation, through descendant transmutations, generate electric, then electric generates qi, and qi generates liquid. Because of the transmutations, the quality of the light changes by each stage in the process, and animates in latency in other substances. The perpetual quality of the light of the mind animates in the limited presence of each element, shape, and form, and when each of them transmutes descendantly or decomposes, the light still persists. It is alike in man. The light of the mind remains after the body has disintegrated. In man, the mind spreads out in different types of energy depending on each stage. The life's power of the cosmic energy is not based completely on its special substance, but mainly on its speed. The early stage of the cosmic development is the light. The light has no speed. It covers all creatures and simultaneously fills in them. Therefore, it comprises all speeds. Its speed is absolute. The sunlight has speed, but it is relative in comparison with other speeds. Similarly, the body of ocean waters has no speed, but its currents motion and thus have speed. The currents move with limited speed in the ocean, but the life of the ocean waters includes all speeds of water currents. So the infinite mind is the life and also the light, which includes all thoughts like the currents in the ocean. The thoughts get a limited speed that animates in the mind, or the limited life powers of the thoughts animate in the life, the light of the mind. The mind can perceive the presence of thoughts and their speed and can also measure it. Speed is power. Being aware of the speed is being able to distinguish its power and thus to identify the source of power. Many sorts of power cannot be perceived by the 5 natural sense organs. Those are superpower, mystic power, and above all, the cosmic energy. The absolute state of the mind, or the absolute speed of the mind, can be comprehended easily by seeing a nearby object and the sun or a remote star. When looking at those objects, which are at different distances from the viewer's eyes, the speed of the eyesight is almost the same, meaning that there is an absolute speed in the range of vision among unequal and variable distances. Though the mind gets the absolute speed, the powers of speeds in each substance differ. The relativity of the powers of speeds is influenced by the mind from low to high degrees in man's body, depending on the substance, speed of the refined power, liquid, of the superpower, chi, of the mystic power, electric, and of the cosmic energy, the light. The speed is absolute, while its powers are the effects, which are capable of pervading into the 3 small worlds. The absolute, mightiest power appears when it is in a static state, such as in a perfectly static state of no emotion, no sensation, the unconsciousness in sleep, or in the total suspension of consciousness of the body, the heart, and the mind. At that very moment, the refined power is the most intense. When the heart is in a void state, units of human electric seem to stop, but not getting in and out of the body. But rightly in that static state of the nervous system, the radiation of human electric overflows all cells to the smallest structural units. In the flesh body at that specific moment, the power of human electric is at its mightiest level. Footnote: the radiation of human electric kills all microorganisms causing diseases and cures those diseases caused by microbes or originating from liquid, chi, and electric. Also, it re-stabilizes the disorderly functions of blood, chi, and human electric. End of footnote. And the absolute intensity is that of the power of the purest mind. It is when thoughts and memories cease to be active. Only the function of understanding in the mind, or the intelligence, remains. This is the state of the purest mind. The purest mind is the completely static state of the mind, which is immaculate or impeccably clean from any sensation, feeling, and thought related to the individual ego. This very static and immaculate state exists only in the inner life. Therefore, the absolute power of the absolute speed animates in the mind. It is exactly in the purest mind that all powers in the flesh body gather and transmute ascendantly into cosmic energy. The inner life is the supernatural and supernatural ones. The life is the substance of the perpetual cosmic life. With this nature, the inner life is the cosmic life animating in the small cosmos, and it is the origin of the purest mind as well. The origin of the mind is there. If the mind reaches the infinite state in the inner life, or when the cosmic life exists in the small cosmos, the life's power is equal to the perpetual life. In brief, the substance, the character, and the character's energy of the light in the cosmos is the origin of the mind. In other words, the light that exists in latency in all transmuting elements in man's body through sensations, feelings, and thoughts is the source of the mind. In man's body, when the cosmic light increases, the mind's qualities also augment. If the cosmic light decreases, the mind's qualities diminish. If the cosmic light animates persistently, the mind's qualities remain steady, ever being. The infinite state of the mind remains ever being and persists in the absolute perpetuity. There is no longer the alteration of functions of observing, remembering, and thinking like in the vulgar mind. On the contrary, the spirit's mind includes and gets beyond all thoughts, all psychological and physiological reactions. Its remaining functions are knowing and understanding. These functions animate extremely in the transmutation of the perpetual cosmic light. With the functions of knowing and understanding of the mind, the light exists in all things and matters, even in a tiny hair or an extremely small globule of blood in the body. Likewise, the light fills up everywhere, even in the most profound depths of the oceans when the sunlight cannot reach. The light of the mind is present also in the brain of huge oceanic monsters in the ocean bed, in all living beings, vegetation underground, and in man's sensations, feelings, and thoughts. In short, the light of man's mind exists or joins wherever there is the light, the life, or the light of the mind of man can extend to wherever the light, the life exists. The cosmos includes different worlds, but the light, the life, flows all over and gets in them, and each of the worlds gets its own life's powers. The life's powers vary depending on the intensity of the constituent elements in each world. It is the same in man's body. The intensity of life's powers differs from person to person according to the different levels of the powers of their mind, and the expansion of the mind depends on the intensity. In normal state, the mind cannot permeate into the other supernatural and supernatural worlds because of the difference in intensities. For example, in the state of awakeness, the mind cannot spread into the supernatural world, but in sleep, the mind ceases its animation and changes to the purest mind, then to the supermind, which acts and animates in the supernatural life. This new life creates dreams in which the functions of knowing and understanding continue. If the supermind evolves further, then right in the dream, brilliance, genius, reasoning, and thoughts become active. The descendant and ascendant transmutations of the mind in the evolution of cosmos. In both man's body and the cosmos, all invisible organs animate by the sacred substances and contain miraculousness. Therefore, they animate and last forever, thanks to the always synchronizing functions of descendant and ascendant transmutations. The perpetual animation means there is no longer space and time of the mind. It causes the two-way simultaneous transmutations, and all of the three constituent factors, substance, character, and character's energy, evolve in exact sameness. When the yang and the yin of the light of the mind come into contact with each other, the substance of the light gives rise to thoughts. This process is called descendant transmutation. It produces the intelligence and at the same time, the clairvoyance, the light's character, increases too. Also, the character's energy of the light augments accordingly. When the yang and the yin of the light of the mind interact, descendant transmutation and ascendant transmutation happen at the same time, or in other words, the substance, the character, and the character's energy are one. Moreover, when man thinks, thoughts emerge, and simultaneously the light, the clairvoyance, and the energy of the mind also increase. The perpetual animation has life only without death. Any thought by man, once produced, continues its existence forever, and man cannot destroy it, but can only stop recalling it by living in the present moment, so as not to revitalize it. Thanks to the synchronous transmutations, the light created by man's mind increases. This matters to the cosmos because the increasing light created by man's mind contributes essentially to the development of the cosmos. The cosmos aggrandizes itself thanks to the two-way transmutations of the light. The light of man's mind includes three kinds: the light of the mind, that of the supermind, and that of the super-supermind. The effect of the light of the mind in ascendant transmutations is miraculous. The substance produces effect, and vice versa. The effect brings forth the substance. The light gives birth to many lives, from which the mind enters the resurrection and the perpetual life. The mind brings things into existence in incessant creation. This creative descendant transmutation has formed numberless visible, i.e. natural, supervisible, i.e. supernatural, and super-supervisible, i.e. invisible creatures. The descendant transmutation holds itself in the manner of without doing, i.e. transmuting without knowing, as its speed is faster than any perception. Thanks to this, the light of the mind increases in volume. Its speed of transmutation becomes higher. In the 20th century, the speed of the descendant transmutation of the light of the mind is very high. Hence, faster tempo and greater number of inventions and progresses. This is because of the highly developed intelligence, the clairvoyance of the mind through the transmuted capabilities, and the increase in the light of the mind. The greater the volume of the light of the mind, the greater and more durable the capacity of the functions of the mind. And this capacity varies among the mind, the supermind, and the super-supermind. The light of the mind of the people who live in material and intellectual civilizations may be greater than that of those who lead a spiritual life. But on the contrary, the light of the supermind and the super-supermind of a spiritual person is brighter and larger in expansion than those who spend their life in material and intellectual civilizations. Moreover, there are a lot of things that are beyond imagination and understanding of the people in the material civilization. Their speeds vary depending on the level of brilliance of each kind of mind. Footnote: to average people, the speed of thinking varies from person to person. The difference in the speed of thinking among people corresponds to the level of brilliance of the mind. Those with occupations that often exert the functions of observing and thinking have a higher speed of thinking than others. End of footnote. Low speed can be controlled by higher speed. Therefore, thoughts at lower speed can be seized by the brilliance of higher speed of mind. Having lower speed, the thoughts by the normal mind can be perceived by the supermind and the super-supermind. The speeds of different normal, super, and super-superminds are unequal and variable because they are formed by the speeds of phenomena in different worlds. The phenomena constituted of blood and perceived by the 5 natural sense organs, meaning the sensations, get a lower speed than those formed by qi or electric and perceived by the supersense organs. Therefore, the normal mind is lower than the supermind. The latter's brilliance is more than the former's. So, the speed of the mind constituted by sensations is lower than that of the mind formed by feelings. Both speeds, however, are lower than the speed of thoughts, especially those belonging to the domain of the purest mind, because all thoughts by the purest mind are invisible. Footnote: invisible subjects to form the purest mind, right and genuine Tao chooses subjects in the invisible domain to ponder upon, for example, life, death, love, etc. Take love, for example. The practitioner has to think deeply and examine its origin, effect, and creation so as to adapt and apply for humanitarian use. The forbearance and patience in thinking about love, above all, increase love in oneself and simultaneously develop the brilliance of one's mind. End of footnotes. The two-way transmutations of the mind evolve the small cosmos. Man gets adequate conditions to evolve from normal mind to supermind or to super-supermind thanks to the functions of observing, remembering, and thinking. From these 3 functions, the mind acquires the intelligence, including the knowing and the understanding. The transmutation from one function to another of the mind, or from one kind of mind to another, is the ascendant transmutation of speed. In other words, the higher speed is caused by ascendant transmutation. When the speed changes, energy also increases and continues to multiply until it becomes cosmic energy, the perpetual life. Evolving to the perpetual life is to evolve towards the unification of the 2 cosmoses. In that state, whatever that the great cosmos contains is also present in the small cosmos. This is the highest change of all, which, out of all species on the earth, only mankind can reach. Only mankind can reach the level of perpetual life, the life that unites with the nature of ever-being of the cosmos, thanks to the mind. Evolution can be acquired thanks to the two-way transmutations. The descendant transmutation increases the life's powers. Meanwhile, the ascendant transmutation also takes place. In the increase of life's powers and the light also increases. As the body produces sensations, feelings, the heart come into being, and both sensations and feelings, body and heart, bring forth the thoughts, mind. The more sensations become, the more the mind's capability becomes. Similarly, more feelings also lead to more competence of the mind. This means that the greater the life's powers, i.e. sensations and feelings, the greater the life, i.e. the light of the mind in those life's powers. The thoughts constituting the mind's powers are the light and its brilliance. Furthermore, sensations are life's powers, but the natural aptitude of the mind, i.e. knowing and understanding in sensations, is the life. When man's sensations are at a high level, the knowing and the understanding of the sensations by the mind are keenly perceptive and deeply extended. Through this, creatures return to the creation with the increase of life. The growth in life's powers makes the life greater. The life's powers of liquid, qi, and electric multiply the life, the light. The motion of relative speed in substances, liquid, qi, electric, becomes extremely high and changes to be extremely static, with the absolute speed which is the light of the mind. Nevertheless, the light of the mind, depends also on the life's powers of the mind. The life's powers of the mind. If things, matters, substances, even the objects of the thoughts have no motion, They cannot exist and persist. So does the mind. If it did not animate, it could not persist. However, the life's duration depends on the intensity of the motion or the speed of the motion. In man's body, each small world, body, heart, mind, gets different speed, i.e., the phenomena in each world move, change, transmute, and produce their own speed in accordance to their world. The speed of the mind in the natural world, body, is lower than that of the supermind in the supernatural world, heart, and that of the supermind in the supernatural world. The mind's speed through the perceptions by the flesh body, chi, blood, increases the mind's aptitude, which belongs to the development of capability. This development follows the perceptions, sensations, and produces the sensual pleasures and responsive stimulation. The mind's speed through the emotive states of the heart increases the power of the mind and conducts the development of talents. This development results from the reactions of the states of the heart, thus brings forth the feelings and the consciousness of feelings. The mind's speed by way of its awareness, also through the awareness of the purest mind, increases the power of genius, i.e., it develops in accordance with the logical course of the absolute accuracy of the nature and the supernature, engendering the brilliance of the mind's power. The animation of the mind originates from its contacting with external sceneries or phenomena through the 5 natural sense organs. This is the contact with the natural world. The inner connection between the mind and the heart state is not perfectly supernatural yet, because those feelings are produced by external phenomena. The animation of the mind comes from 2 sources, outer world and inner world. The animation of the mind in the purest state or the purest mind contains the essence of the supernature, for it is free of all sensations and feelings. Footnote: the purest mind is the purest state of the mind, which is able to change into the supermind and the supermind. Only the brilliance of the intelligence remains in this state. End of footnote. All phenomena that are free from sensations and feelings are supernatural phenomena. From those phenomena, the mind perceives and creates. This creation entails both talents and geniuses, conforming to both natural and supernatural logics. The animation of the mind in the supernatural world constitutes the supernatural talent of the supermind. Its powers are formed by the light and the electric. Therefore, the brilliance of the supermind gets the absolute speed of the light and the very high speed of electric. The perceptions through the supersense organs have electrical speed, while the awareness by the supermind has the speed of the light. In the supermind, awareness needs to come first, then comes understanding. The supernature is one of the sources of energies for all creatures in the natural cosmic world and in the natural small world. For that reason, the supernatural phenomena that form the mind's powers in the animation of the mind also become the supermind's power with a longer life. The animation's power or the brilliance of the mind in the natural small world manifests in the pupils of the eyes in the flesh body. These pupils display the inner powers and the supernatural potential energy of man. All changes of state of the inner powers and the supernatural potential energy of man can be observed therein. Other people can perceive those of a person by seeing the latter's pupils directly, but one can so feel the intensity of his inner powers and supernatural potential energy if he closes his eyes and turns the observation of his mind inwards. He then can perceive the light spreading from the brain. This level of brilliance corresponds to the light's energy of the supermind and the supermind. The light of the mind has no weight. It is not subject to any gravitational force exerted on any planet. It penetrates and passes through all creatures, animates in latency in all sacred substances and all substances that get the interplanetary life. The light obtains the life's energy of the great cosmos. Anything that has weight must be changed to follow the cycle of birth and death. That means their substance, shape, and state must be changed so that they can evolve. Footnote: the change in substance, shape, and state is established in the process of evolution of the cosmos. The cosmic law of changes is a succession of natural changes by which all natural and supernatural creatures must undergo. But the mind is an invisible organ and unchangeable in terms of substance and shape. Instead, it gets its own evolution. And a footnote. The life's power of the mind is formed by the speed of the light of the mind. But each kind of mind has different speeds, depending on the phenomena in the three different worlds. For example, the phenomena perceived by the 5 natural sense organs in the state of the normal mind have lower speed than those perceived by the supersense organs in the state of the super mind. If the speed of the phenomena is high, the perceiving time of the phenomena is short. In a dream, all facts, events appearing in one's own mind seem to happen within a long time, but actually the dream happens briefly. Therefore, whoever that have many dreams in his sleep, in which his supermind uses the faculty of reasoning and deduction, the life powers of his mind have increased and evolved. If the speed is high, then the mind formed by this speed increases the duration of its life's powers. When the life's powers develop, its brilliance increases too. Also, the speed of the light of the mind results from the activities in both external environments and the inner life. Up to now, the mind that is formed by external sceneries goes through 3 periods and 3 types of environments of life's activities. The 3 periods: the period of the activities by refined power, of manual works or physical force, the machinery period, and the electronic period. The 3 types of environments of life's activities are the environments where man operates with refined power. Usually, these are remote and isolated regions where there are little access to mechanical and electronic technologies. The environment with machinery activities, such as in towns and cities, and the electronic, or both electronic and machinery, environments, such as in factories, offices, laboratories, and buildings with high technology. The formation of the mind speed depends on the speed of external sceneries, meaning for example, the means of transport such as animal strength, man strength, wind power, or water power have lower speed than the means of transport in the machinery age, but the highest speed of the mind is in the electronic and computer age. The speed of response by the mind also differs in different periods and environments. The speed of the mind depends on the 3 kinds of internal sceneries, inner activities and phenomena: sensation-related, feeling-related, and thought-related. The speed of the mind of the sensation-related internal sceneries is relatively low in comparison with the speed of the mind related to feelings, but these 2 speeds are lower than that of the thoughts. Footnote: the speed of human mind surpasses that of all other living beings because man gets feelings and thoughts. These 2 elements, feelings and thoughts, contribute greatly to the transcendence of man. He rises above all other creatures on the earth. Moreover, man's brainstorming in technology, art, reasoning, logics, supernatural truth, or town scores, etc., increases the life powers of his mind. And a footnote. The speed of the mind varies in different small worlds, therefore the life powers of the mind change too. In which small world that the mind animates frequently, meaning that of the body, sensations, the heart, feelings, or the mind, thoughts, the life powers of the corresponding cosmic world increase. In man's activities, the mind animates in the three states in synchronization with the three corresponding cosmic worlds at different speeds and with different life powers. Though the mind animates, few people are able to harmonize its brilliance with their actions and thoughts, or to bring the mind into the spiritual animation. The mind has to illuminate permanently on each deed, thought, virtue, and to brighten on the causes in the conscience in order to acquire the sageness. For that fact, every word, idea, sentence contains sageness and profound understanding. In the static state of the brain, the mind's nature gets into the state of without deed, void state, and its speed is extremely high. When the mind acts in the heart, its speed is electric speed. When the mind animates in the flesh body, its speed is low and corresponds exactly to the speed of the world of the five natural sense organs. The life powers of the mind depend on the animation of the mind. The animation of the mind in the natural world, the world of the five natural sense organs, results from qi and blood in the flesh body. In other words, there is a life that derives from the mutual animation of qi and blood, which partly contributes to the life powers of the mind. And anything that happens or animates in latency in the natural world exerts the same animation in the flesh body through qi and blood. This means that the flesh body contains all phenomena of the outer cosmos. However, the corresponding inner animation happens in a very small proportion. Footnote. The amount of nervous cells in action differs among individuals. Whoever that use the functions of thinking and intelligence of their mind and puts their super heart and put their super mind and super mind into action have greater amount of neurons in action than those who usually employ only the functions of observing, remembering of the mind. And a footnote. And vice versa, all phenomena that have been created by the mind, the supermind and the supermind spread also to the cosmos. The animation of these inner phenomena, though happening inside the flesh body, gets to an extremely great proportion in its expansion to the great cosmos. The creation of the mind or the supermind or the supermind increases its life powers. When the body dies, all structural units of the flesh body disintegrate, but the life powers of the mind that have been produced through its creation and kept in the supernatural and supernatural worlds remain. The life powers stored up in the nervous system, the brain, the gray substance are still available and mixed up with the cosmic electric and light. The creation of the mind increases the life powers of the mind. The mental images created by the mind are the powers and motive powers that join the external energies to become disasters, misfortunes, fortunes, virtues, Tao. All of these effects are produced by the animation of the mind's powers. All natural, supernatural, and mental images exist in different substances such as electric or light, or in transmuted substances of electric and light. Footnote: transmuted substances are different transmuted components of a basic substance. For example, electron, magnetic fields, waves, radiation are the transmuted components in electric. End of footnote. When those images disappear, their animation still persists, but they themselves change into transmuted substances or processed to a new way of animation. So, the life powers of man's mind increase through creative activities. The light of the mind on the earth augments when mankind grows in number. That means more human electric and the light of mankind contribute into the atmosphere, and thus the darkness diminishes. Mental images produced by the imagination of the mind constitute an effect to the small cosmic animation, or they become transmuted substances, shapes, or powers that form the elements for or the basis of disasters, fortunes, virtues, and Tao in human divine mechanism. All of these have interrelation with the destiny and the cycles of blood and qi, which cause good or bad motive effects to the cells. And those images animate continually in the cosmos, influencing onto the cosmic energies, connecting to the cosmic electric, and reproducing favorable or unfavorable conditions in the normal movement of seasons. The light of the mind extends concurrently into the three small worlds, body, heart, and mind. The light is distributed into different functions of the mind, observing, remembering, and thinking. The light keeps its brilliance when it is maintained inside, but if it contacts with external sceneries, spreads out through the 5 natural sense organs and joins the fluctuation of the heart, feelings, its powers reduce gradually. Footnote: if the heart fluctuates, feelings, and the light of the mind's powers spreads out for a long time, such as working non-stop for many days and nights under constant pressure of the heart and the mind, this mental and emotional condition diminishes the brilliance of the mind and causes dimness for the eyesight, or more seriously, impedes or blocks the circulation of blood to the eyes. Thus, the eye may become blind because of the decrease of light and human electric, and the resulting weakened qi cannot carry blood to the eyes. End of footnote. On the contrary, if the external sceneries are led inwards, i.e., to the inner world, the mind's powers animate, making the mind's light increase gradually. If the spreading space of the light reduces, meaning the expansion of the light is confined to a smaller space, then the life powers of the mind become greater. This is the case when man is sleeping or free from any activity. The flesh body no longer has any sensation, the heart is free from feelings, and the mind is free from thoughts. In this condition, all expanding light centralizes in the brain. That the light comes completely under the central control of the mind when man is awake is the genuinely void state of the mind. In sleep, there is the natural suspension of sensations, feelings, and thoughts, but in awakeness, if the flesh body is in the exactly same condition of sound sleep, then there is only the brilliance of the mind in the unification of time and space. In that void state, the light centralizes completely into the brain. The light of the mind narrows in scope, thus the light increases. That means the life powers of the mind and its brilliance increase as well. Thus, the life powers of the mind become greater inside the body and change into the supernatural life powers of the supermind and continue their growth into the life. When the life powers reach the nature of the life, or when life powers are equal to the life, the evolution of man's mind reaches the end of its extent, which is the perpetual life of the supermind. The table below shows the evolution made by the descendants and ascendants transmutations, starting from the flesh body to the heart, then to the mind, next to the supermind, and finally to the supermind. The body consists of blood and qi and has life's power. The heart consists of qi and electric and has life's powers. The mind consists of the light around the earth and has the life. The supermind consists of interplanetary light and has long life. The supermind consists of the cosmic light and has the perpetual life.